If your ankles puff up by evening and you take a blood pressure pill, that's not aging. That's the pill talking to you. And most people never hear it. Garrett Landon. There are 3 blood pressure medications sitting in more medicine cabinets than any other. Amlodipine, Losartan, Lisinopril. You probably take one of them right now. Maybe you've taken 2 over the years. Maybe all 3 at different points. And here's what bugged me for a long time. All 3 say for high blood pressure on the label. Same problem, same goal. But inside your body, they do completely different things. Different systems, different chemistry, different consequences. Your pill and your neighbor's pill are not the same drug, not even close. And that gap, the one nobody explains at the pharmacy counter, is exactly where the trouble hides. Because there's a common painkiller in almost every medicine cabinet that can cancel out your blood pressure pill entirely. There's a fruit, a healthy fruit, one you'd never suspect, that turns one of these medications into something your body wasn't built to handle. And there's a mineral hiding in everyday food that 2 of these 3 drugs quietly push toward dangerous levels in your blood, right now, while you feel perfectly fine. But none of that matters until you understand one simple thing: what your specific pill does the moment it enters your bloodstream. Think about a garden hose. The water pressure is too high. You can fix that 3 ways. You can widen the hose itself, stretch the walls so the water has more room. You can turn down the faucet, kill the signal that's cranking the pressure up. Or you can go one step further and break the wrench that someone keeps using to crank the faucet tighter. 3 different fixes. One result: less pressure. That's exactly what's going on with these 3 pills. Amlodipine works on the hose. Your blood vessels have tiny muscles in their walls, and those muscles need calcium to contract. Not the calcium from your glass of milk, calcium ions, the electrical kind, flowing in and out of muscle cells 1,000 times a day. Amlodipine blocks the gates that let calcium in. The muscle can't squeeze. The vessel relaxes. It widens. Blood flows through with less resistance. Your pressure drops. Losartan goes after the faucet. Your body produces a hormone, a chemical messenger, whose only job is telling your blood vessels to clamp down tighter. All day, every hour. That hormone lands on a specific spot on the vessel wall, locks in, and the vessel obeys. Losartan parks itself on that spot first. The hormone arrives, finds the door locked, and the message never gets through. No squeeze. Pressure comes down. Lisinopril goes even further back. Your body can't make that squeezing hormone without a specific enzyme, a chemical tool that builds it from raw materials. Lisinopril smashes that tool. No tool, no hormone, no squeeze. That enzyme is called ACE. That's why your doctor calls lisinopril an ACE inhibitor. And that is the only medical term you need from this entire conversation. So far, so good. 3 different paths to the same finish line. And for years, that's where I left it. Lower the pressure, protect the heart, done. But then something started nagging at me. If these 3 pills all do the same job, why do people on one of them get swollen ankles? People on another get a cough that won't quit. And people on the third sometimes end up in the emergency room with a heart that's beating like it forgot the rhythm. Same goal. Very different collateral damage. And the reason is this: none of these drugs stay in their lane. Every single one reaches further than your blood vessels. Every single one touches systems you didn't sign up for. And the consequences, the ones that blindside people, come from those other systems, the ones nobody mentioned at the pharmacy. There's a mineral involved in this story, one your body needs every single day, one you probably never think about, and 2 of these 3 drugs are quietly pushing it in a direction that can stop your heart. But that piece comes together a bit later. Right now, you need to hear about the side effects that get mistaken for completely different diseases. If any of that just clicked for you, save this video so you don't lose it. What's coming next matters even more. Here's a scene that plays out thousands of times a week. Someone, 65, 70, doesn't matter, looks down at their ankles after dinner and doesn't recognize them. Puffy, tight. The shoes that fit fine this morning won't go on anymore. And the first thought is always the same: something's wrong with my heart. They call their doctor, they go in, they get an echocardiogram, blood work, maybe a chest x-ray. Heart looks fine, lungs look fine, labs are clean, and everyone's relieved, but nobody can explain the swelling. Here's what kills me. The answer was sitting on their kitchen counter the whole time: amlodipine. When amlodipine blocks calcium in the blood vessel wall, it opens up the arteries, the vessels that carry blood out to your legs. But the veins, the vessels that carry blood back, don't open up the same way. So you get more blood flowing down into your feet and ankles and less of it coming back up. Fluid leaks out into the tissue. Your ankles swell. It's not your heart failing. It's a pressure imbalance between two sets of pipes. And the higher the dose of amlodipine, the worse it gets. At 5 milligrams, maybe 1 in 10 people notice it. At 10 milligrams, it can be 1 in 3. And now flip it. Lisinopril doesn't swell your ankles. It does something else. It gives you a cough. A dry, nagging, tickling cough that shows up out of nowhere. Sometimes weeks after you start the medication, sometimes months. And it never fully goes away. Not a cold, not allergies, not post-nasal drip. A cough that lives in the back of your throat and kicks in at the worst moments. Lying down at night, middle of a conversation, during a meal. And you know what's maddening? People go through rounds of testing for this cough. Allergy meds, inhalers, chest x-rays, sinus scans, and the answer is the same pill they swallow every morning. Lisinopril breaks the enzyme that clears a substance called bradykinin out of your lungs. Bradykinin builds up. It irritates the airway. You cough. Somewhere between 1 in 10 and 1 in 5 people on any ACE inhibitor develop this cough. That's a massive number, and half of them never connect it to their blood pressure pill. Losartan, the quiet one. Fewer people complain about side effects with Losartan, and that's true. It is generally the gentlest of the three. But gentle doesn't mean silent. Losartan, and lisinopril for that matter, both put a load on something most people over 60 already have trouble with: their kidneys. And the kidneys are exactly where the potassium trap begins. If you know someone going through the same thing, send them this video right now. Or drop a comment below. Someone reading it might recognize themselves. Remember that mineral? The one 2 of these drugs quietly push in the wrong direction? Here it is: potassium. Your heart runs on electricity. Every beat is a tiny electrical pulse, fired in sequence, top to bottom, 60 to 100 times a minute. And the fuel for that electrical system, the thing that carries the charge, is potassium. Too little, and the signal gets weak. Too much, and the signal gets chaotic. Both are dangerous. But for people on Losartan or lisinopril, the danger almost always leans one way: too much. Here's why. Both drugs reduce the activity of a hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone's job is to tell your kidneys, hold on to sodium, let potassium go. When you block the system that makes aldosterone, which is exactly what Losartan and lisinopril do, your kidneys start doing the opposite. They hold on to potassium, and it builds up in your blood, slowly, quietly, no pain, no obvious symptoms, until there are. And here's where it gets personal. If you're 25, your kidneys can handle the extra load. They adjust. They dump the excess. But kidneys lose roughly 1% of their filtering power every year after 40. By 70, you're working with kidneys that are 30% weaker than they were in your prime. Add Losartan or lisinopril to that, and your kidneys can't clear the potassium fast enough. It accumulates. Now think about what happens next. You've heard for years that potassium is good for you. Bananas, orange juice, potatoes, leafy greens, good for blood pressure, right? And that's true for people who aren't on these medications. But if you're on Losartan or lisinopril and you're eating potassium-heavy foods every day, loading up on bananas because you read somewhere that potassium lowers blood pressure, you're stacking one source on top of another. And your aging kidneys are watching the pile grow. But it gets worse. And this is the part that genuinely catches people off guard. Salt substitutes. You know the ones: heart-healthy salt alternatives, the kind in the yellow or green containers. Your doctor told you to cut sodium, so you switched. Smart move, right? Except those salt substitutes replace sodium chloride with potassium chloride. You're shaking potassium directly onto your food, twice a day, 3 times a day, while your pill is already telling your kidneys to hold on to every bit of potassium they can. The normal range for blood potassium is 3.5 to 5. Above 5.5, your heart's electrical system starts misfiring, skipped beats, fluttering, weakness in your arms and legs that you write off as tiredness. Above 6, you're in the emergency room. And the jump from 5 to 6 can happen over the course of a single week if the conditions line up. So here's what you do. If you take Losartan or Lisinopril, ask your doctor when you last had your potassium checked. If you don't remember, it's been too long. And look at your kitchen counter. Is there a salt substitute sitting next to the stove? Read the label. If it says potassium chloride, talk to your doctor before you use it again. Now, that painkiller from the beginning, the one that can cancel out your blood pressure pill entirely. You've probably already guessed what it is. Ibuprofen, naproxen, aspirin at high doses. The entire family of drugs called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They're in every grocery store, every gas station, every nightstand drawer. And for people over 60, they're the go-to for a sore knee, a stiff back, a shoulder that won't cooperate. You don't even think about it. You just take 2 and keep going. And here's what nobody puts on the label in bold letters. NSAIDs block a chemical your kidneys need to stay open. Your kidneys use that chemical, prostaglandin, to keep blood flowing through their filters. Block it and the filters tighten. Blood flow drops. Your kidneys hold on to more salt and water. And what does more salt and water do to your blood pressure? It pushes it up. The very thing your blood pressure pill was pulling down, ibuprofen shoves back up. Clinical data shows that regular NSAID use can raise blood pressure by 3 to 5 points in people already on medication. That might sound small. It isn't. Those 3 to 5 points can be the difference between stable and unstable, between a good reading and a worried phone call. But it goes further. If you're on Losartan or Lisinopril and you take ibuprofen regularly, you're hitting your kidneys from 2 directions at once. The blood pressure pill is already reducing blood flow to the kidneys as part of how it works. The ibuprofen squeezes it down even more. Add a water pill, a diuretic, which many people take alongside their blood pressure medication, and you've got what researchers call the triple threat. 3 drugs, all pressing down on kidney blood flow at the same time. In a 70-year-old with kidneys already running at 70%, that combination can tip the balance into acute kidney injury. Not over years, over days. So if your back hurts, talk to your doctor about what you can take safely. Don't just grab the bottle. And that fruit, the one from the beginning, grapefruit. Not orange, not lemon, grapefruit specifically. And this one targets amlodipine. Your gut has an enzyme, a chemical guard, that breaks down a portion of amlodipine before it ever reaches your bloodstream. It's like a toll booth. Some of the drug gets through, some gets chewed up. Your dose is calibrated for that. Your doctor picked your milligrams knowing that a chunk of it would be lost at the toll booth. Grapefruit knocks out the guard. The toll booth shuts down, and now all of the amlodipine passes through. Your effective dose just went up, without you or your doctor changing anything. Blood pressure drops too low. You stand up, the room spins, and you grab the counter. For someone who's 75 and unsteady on their feet, that dizzy spell isn't just uncomfortable, it's a fall. And a fall at 75 is a broken hip. And a broken hip at 75 changes everything. So check your kitchen, check your fridge. If you take amlodipine and there's grapefruit or grapefruit juice in there, talk to your doctor. What I'm about to say could change your evening. If there's someone next to you who needs to hear this, forward this video now before you forget. Sometimes a single link does more than 10 doctor visits. So now you know what your pill does. You know the side effects it hides behind. You know the potassium trap. You know the painkiller that fights your pill. You know about the grapefruit. And now there are 3 more things. And these are the ones that people stumble on every single day. When you take the pill matters. Amlodipine has a long life inside your body. It takes nearly 2 full days for half of it to clear your system. That means timing is forgiving. Morning, evening, it works either way. But Losartan is different. Its active form burns off faster, and some people do better splitting the dose or taking it at night. Large clinical trials have tested bedtime dosing of blood pressure medications, and the data points in a promising direction. Lower nighttime blood pressure, fewer cardiac events. Ask your doctor whether your specific pill might work better at night. It's a simple question, and it might be the easiest upgrade you ever make. And here's one that nobody warned you about loudly enough: standing up. Every one of these 3 drugs lowers your blood pressure. That's the point. But when you stand up from a chair or swing your legs off the bed in the morning, gravity yanks your blood downward. Your body normally compensates. It tightens your vessels, bumps up your heart rate, and keeps enough blood in your head so you stay upright and clear. But your pill is actively fighting that tightening. It is doing its job. And the result is a gap, a half second where your brain doesn't get enough blood. The room tilts, your vision narrows, you grab the wall. That moment has a name. It's called orthostatic hypotension, and it is one of the leading causes of falls in people over 65. Not weak bones, not slippery floors. A pill doing exactly what it's supposed to do at the worst possible moment. The fix is laughably simple. Don't jump up. Sit on the edge of the bed for 30 seconds before you stand. When you get out of a chair, pause. Let your body adjust. 30 seconds. That's all it takes to outrun the gap. And the last thing, maybe the most important, never stop any of these drugs on your own. Not because you feel fine, not because your pressure was good at the pharmacy machine, not because you read something online. Your body has spent months, maybe years, adjusting to this pill. Your blood vessels have recalibrated. Your kidneys have adapted. Your hormones have found a new balance. If you pull the drug out suddenly, all of that snaps back like a rubber band. Your pressure spikes, sometimes hard, sometimes fast. And a sudden spike in blood pressure in someone over 60 is how strokes begin. Not gradually, not with warning signs, in the shower, at the kitchen table, mid-sentence. If you think your medication needs to change, that conversation belongs in your doctor's office, not in your medicine cabinet at midnight. And here's the thing that ties all of this together. Your pill is not your enemy. It never was. It's a tool. And like any tool, it only works right when you know what it does, what it touches, and what it needs from you. Take it consistently. Get your labs checked, potassium, kidney function, at least twice a year. Read the labels on your painkiller and your salt. Stand up slowly. Don't quit cold. These are not big changes. They're adjustments, small ones. And they are the difference between a pill that protects you and a pill that quietly makes things worse while you think everything is fine. Your body gives you signals: swollen ankles, a cough that won't quit, dizziness when you stand. Those aren't mysteries, they're messages. And now you speak the language. Every time you hit like, the algorithm shows this video to someone new. Someone out there is going to bed tonight not knowing what you now know. One share, and you might save someone's morning, or their kidneys, or their heart. I'll keep saying what others would rather not, as long as you keep listening. Until next time.